So folks, a lot of you know each year I tell a personal story from platform that tries to highlight or give you insights into why I have the best job in the world. And our time today, it's all about community and what that means and how it feels and why it's important to connect, even if distance is far and time has passed. When I started at GAMA, I was 26 years old, and to be completely transparent with you all, I took this job because I needed a 9 to 5 so I could use all my waking free time to study for my LSATs for law school. I put a lucrative political career on hold to get to what I needed to be the next level to be in that career, which was, of course, to become an attorney. I went to college in Washington, D.C., and I had a powerful girl community in my life. There were 23 of us, all graduates from D.C. area colleges. 5 were already lawyers, 4 were in law school, 4 were in medical school, 3 were legislative directors in Congress, 5 were registered lobbyists, 1 was a psychologist, and 1 was already a successful entrepreneur. Folks, this was a powerhouse of women. So within my first few months of working at GAMA, I received a crash course on personal finance, and I realized I had all this money, and I was doing nothing with it. I started talking to my friends, and I realized they had no idea what they were doing with their money either. And then it hit me with like a ton of bricks. Oh my gosh. We claim to be successful, powerful women, yet we have no fiscal responsibility. What were we doing? GAMA, because it's an amazing place to work, provides you with a financial advisor. And I met with this financial advisor, and he whipped me into shape, AKA no more shopping, Bonnie. And it was an empowering confidence builder like I'd never felt before. So I decided I cared so much about my friends, my girls, my community. A community of 20-somethings, all educated, financially successful. We weren't being talked to by all of you because unfortunately, we didn't fit that typical mold of who our business most often sells to. We weren't married, we didn't have kids, we were not a traditional family. So I thought I needed to protect my friends. So I organized a wine and cheese night at my house on Saturday. Now again, folks, 23 women, all single, 26 years old, Saturday evening. Folks, that's date night, right? So I wasn't sure who was going to come, who was going to give up their date night, and who wasn't. But reluctantly, 23 powerful women found their street parking in Washington, D.C., and they came over to my house. Within 30 days, my advisor signed 20 of them. Within 90 days, he signed the remaining 3. And life went on for 15 years. As we said, life goes on, and you lose touch. You lose touch with your community. And often, unfortunately, it's a tragedy that brings the group back together. You guys know I travel a lot. I was overseas. And I missed a call from my friend Christine, who was one of the original 23. It was 4 a.m. my time, and I got up the next morning and had a voicemail. Here's what that voicemail said. Hey, Bon, it's Christine. I know I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm not sure if you talked to Jen yet, but, you know, I think it's been a while since you saw them. I think you were at the baptism a year ago. And they know you're super busy, and I wasn't sure if Jen actually got a call to you, but, well, I'm not sure how to tell you this, but Sean was on his way home last night from a medical convention, and he got hit by a drunk driver, and he died. Jen and the kids, they're okay. They're doing okay. I think Jen's shocked, and she's numb. You know, the kids, they're just 3 and 6, so I don't really understand. I think sure they don't understand what's going on, but I think she'd want you to know. I know it's been a little while, but you know, I'm not sure if you're around. I'm not sure if you're in the country or not, but you know, services are Friday at 3. Give me a call. I couldn't believe it. You go back to it. The best way to truly measure something is to ask yourself, what would you miss most if it was lost? I miss my friend, I miss my community, and I hopped on a plane, and I got home in time for services. I pulled into the parking lot. I took a breath. I was walking in as a bad friend. I had lost touch. And now I'm seeing my good friend for the first time a year later at her husband's funeral. I walked in, and as expected, when a young person passes, there's seas of people. I mean, there were hundreds of people at this service. I stood on the steps in the back of the room, and I searched for Jen, and there she was. beautiful as ever, even considering the circumstances. She was holding her 3-year-old daughter. Her 6-year-old was clinging to her, standing next to her daddy's casket. Jen kind of looked around the room. She glanced over at me. Our eyes met. My stomach dropped. Immediately, she handed off Chelsea right to her mom. She started parting the seas, charging through, straight for people, right to me. I didn't know what she was thinking. She was moving so fast. She was ignoring people who were trying to hug her, trying to give condolences. She was literally parting the seas to get to me in the back of the room. She came up to me. She threw her arms around me, and she sobbed, and I sobbed. And I apologized immediately for not being there, and for losing touch, and for not helping her when she needed a friend the most. She pushed me back, and she said, Bonnie, are you kidding me? Do you remember when you had all of us over for that wine and cheese? Do you remember how upset we were that we were giving up our Saturday night date night? And I said, I sure do. As a matter of fact, I think you were one of the most upset because you were giving up your date with this new guy, Sean, that you had met. She said, yeah, you don't get it though, Bonnie. She said, you couldn't believe how much you've helped me. After I met with your financial advisor, Bonnie, I bought a policy that month. And then when Sean and I got married, he got a policy. And then when we had girls, we took out some term insurance. And on and on and on. Bonnie, you did help me. You had that wine and cheese 15 years ago. And this morning, I got a call from our advisor. And we're going to be financially fine. I'm going to have time to grieve. Yep. I looked around the room, and all my other friends were there, and all 23 of us were at that service. And I gained my community back. And all of it was because of something you all do every day. You know, being a member of GAMA, joining a study group, it might not solve all of our problems, but it will ensure that our community, that the GAMA community of leaders will be here with each other in uncertain times, facing uncharted waters ahead. I ask you to become part of something bigger than yourself, because remember, you can't miss something you never had, and once you've had it, like being a GAMA member or joining a circle, if you ever lost it, it would be losing an entire powerful community.